I'd like to start off with the quote. He's in pain, suffering, and crying. You can't help him out no matter what. What are you supposed to do? You do anything you can to save his life. This is a quote by Jaden's father, Jason David. Jaden is a 6-year-old who suffers from frequent and extreme seizures due to a rare form of epilepsy. Because him and his father live in the state of California, when all other medications failed him, Jaden's suffering was able to be treated with medical marijuana. Within days, he had gone from not being able to eat, bathe, and talk to running, talking, eating, and bathing. What if patients in America could be treated effectively and efficiently, just like Jaden? In the last weeks, I've made some research and I've become worried, and I want to share that information with you. I believe that my audience are with me, but there are so little people who are still in doubt. Walk with me, listen to me, and I'm going to give you the facts. And I hope that you will come with me and resolve an issue that needs to be resolved. Medical marijuana. Marijuana is a single use drug that can be solved for much suffering and can help patients with medical issues as an alternative treatment. However, this medication that benefits to so many people is illegal. Therefore, it cannot be prescribed. And those that use medical marijuana as a necessity are seen as criminals in the eyes of the federal government. Medical marijuana has many benefits and minimal side effects. So, and should be legalized by the federal government to all American citizens. Now, let me take you a little bit in depth on what is medical marijuana. So, medical marijuana is CBD or THC. So, it comes from a plant. CBD, it's a hemp plant that has 400 compounds that shows benefits, and along with THC, a small low dose can have so much huge benefits. I want to tell you this. Studies suggest that medical marijuana is good. Say that you have anxiety, inflammation, pain, epilepsy, depression, panic disorders, PTSD, chronic pain, which is a really big one. Well, with medical marijuana, with CBD and THC, you can have all this together and relieve all the symptoms that you have. This can also go if you have cancer, again, epilepsy, many other types of disease. This can help you out. And so, by having CBD and THC, it removes and relieves all those problems. Which leads me to our problem. And today's problem is that we have high cost of medications. We have doctors that are prescribing too many medications and that are not necessary. They're also prescribing medications that are causing more harm than being helpful. There are pharmaceutical companies that are in full control. We are having patients who are suffering and dying, and patients are overdosing, and we're having an opioid pandemic. Well, there's a lot of issues going on, but then when I want to go a little bit down. So we're having so much higher cost of medications. An example of a methadone, a treatment. Say you have chronic pain. Well, with methadone, that treatment plan is going to cost you roughly $6,000 yearly. If you have Norco, that's going to cost you about $2,000 yearly. If you have other forms of medications, say you have epilepsies, well, that drug's going to cost, and it's going to be very, very, very high. Well, with CBD and THC, roughly, and on average, it will cost you $900 to $1,200 yearly. It's a big difference. You can be using that money for something else. Now, you wouldn't have to intoxicate yourself no more. Okay, the pharmaceutical companies are in full control because they know that they will lose revenue if the federal government was to legalize this medical marijuana. Now that you know the problem, now that you know the problem of today's world, I want to talk about some solutions. I want you to, I want you to know there's that many possible solutions to this issue, and that is reducing harm, reducing cost, prescribing CBD, and let's move away from the opioids. It's a very very bad thing. With all, if we can implement all this, we can have a healthier, patients. They can be using that money for something else. There's no more intoxication to their organs, and we won't no longer have this pandemic that we currently have, and that is the opioids pandemic. And lastly, we will there will be a more we will promote more customer safety. My visual. Now that you know the solution, let's talk about our plan that we can be implementing for a better vision for America, and that is benefits. Our benefits are that there's less death, there's less patients that are in pain, there's less cost, there's less overdose, there's less suffering overall. Imagine imagine a world where you no longer have to suffer. If you have a kid, and say, for example, you have a kid who has epilepsy or is in chronic pain, are you going to continue taking those medications that are not working, or are you going to take an alternative route with medical marijuana? Think about that. You don't have to. Jaden doesn't have to be your son or daughter's life. You no longer have to worry about pain, suffering. That is the ideal world. So now that you know the visualization, together we can come and be a part of a solution, and that is to call your local government, your senators, your Congress, on the next proposition, vote yes for legalization of marijuana. Come see me at 1600 Eureka Road. My number is 916-784-2626. You can also follow me on my website, www.freecannabis.org. And lastly, I'm always in my office from 6 to 9. To end, I talked about the problem of marijuana. I provided solutions, demonstrated the life's improvement with marijuana, how it can save your life, people's lives. It's Jaden is a great example of medical marijuana, and to why it should be legalized. It's going to relieve others from pain and suffering. It's a very very minimal side effects that is associated with medical marijuana. Those in need will benefit. Now, will you be part of the solution? I want to thank you guys for your time.